Hi everyone, I'm GREYMOND. I'm an OCD recovery coach with more than 10 years of experience helping people recover from OCD. Prior to that, I had severe OCD myself that I fully recovered from, and as do my clients. So if you wonder, can you fully recover from OCD? Absolutely, yes, you can. Today, I wanted to talk to you about why OCD thoughts are constantly switching. There is a lot of reasons for this, and I want you to understand all of them so you understand if you are on the right track in recovery or not. And this is a huge tell on how you can see where you are in your progress. So, first of all, OCD thoughts sometimes switch from topic to topic, sometimes they do not. In this video, we will discuss why they do switch from topic to topic. In another video, I will discuss why they don't, but to make it simple so you're not thinking, why aren't my switching? The reason being is because you're powering it up a lot. If you're powering up the thought day and night, your brain has no reason to switch to another thought because this thought is at play right now. It's important. You're giving all of the reassurance, rumination, compulsion that your brain needs to feel like it's being safe. That's why it's not moving from this thought, because it just wants the same power up. When you are having the thoughts constantly switch, there's a few reasons, a few scenarios why this could be happening. Scenario A. This is when you started to do recovery work, so you're hopefully tracking the time, reducing reassurance, reducing rumination, reducing compulsions. Your brain is not getting the same power up that it used to get. If it's not getting the same power up that it used to get, it starts to feel uncomfortable. How can it get you to ruminate again? I know, send a new thought. And it becomes this rapid fire situation where it's trying to basically throw everything against the wall to see what will stick. Nothing is sticking. The throwing is becoming faster and faster. In this situation, sometimes, not for everybody, but for, I'd say, a lot of people, it can also even come in dreams, because it's trying to get you in waking life while you're asleep to get this to your attention, because you, after all, according to your brain, need to protect yourself from this danger, right? And again, your brain has no idea what danger even is. It's because you've taught it that this is important. Since you've taught it that this is important, your brain's like, well, if it's important, I have to give you these thoughts. Well, you're not reacting. I have to give you more of these thoughts to get your attention. And that's what's happening. This is actually, even though it might seem overwhelming, this is actually a very good thing, because it means that you're on the right track. You're not giving the power up. This is more, not as much painful, because the thoughts, since they're moving through so fast, the anxiety it can be high, but it's not extreme, because they're just switching a lot. I mean, in some situations it can be extreme, and that's when you are kind of semi powering it up. So you powered it up for a little while and then not, and then in that case the anxiety can go really, really high. But generally what I see with people is that when this rapid fire is happening, the anxiety is not intense, because the thoughts are moving through very fast. Now, so this is a good scenario. This is where all people kind of, maybe I would say pretty much everybody, right? At some point in their recovery, they end up in this scenario where they feel this rapid fire. Again, usually when they start to do very aggressive recovery work. And this is a good thing, that's fine. Scenario 2, or scenario B, I would say. This is when you are doing a lot of rumination, a lot of reassurance, a lot of compulsions, a lot of avoidance, and the thoughts are switching because you're exhausting the original topic. So you got a thought, you've done research asking compulsions, avoidance, and it had no choice but to leave, because you've gave it the maximum power up and solved the thought. But what happens is it gives you another thought, and again you're doing reassurance, reiterating that you are in danger. So in scenario A, you're saying, I am not in danger, this is not important, I'm not reacting. In scenario B, you're reacting all the time, and that's why you're getting the power up. So that's why you're getting new thoughts, because you're giving it the power up, right? So scenario B is something you absolutely should not be doing. So if you feel like your OCD thoughts are switching because you're continuously doing compulsions, you really have to start tracking. Really pull back on how many compulsions you're doing, or how much reassurance, rumination you're doing per certain amount of time. In the app, as well as what I say with clients, what we do is we do in 3-hour blocks. This is very important. I promise you. I know I talk about tracking the time all the time. I'm telling you this because this works. However you want to do it, however it works for you, you can alternate whatever, in whatever way it makes sense to you. But I'm telling you, this time tracking works. Now, scenario 3, or scenario C, I would say, why thoughts are switching. Sometimes thoughts switch over long periods of time. So, for example, if a person had OCD for 30 years, during the 30 years, different situations have changed, or their life changed, right, over time. So a person gets married, they might have relationship OCD. It's pretty difficult to have relationship OCD if you're not in a relationship. Maybe they became very religious. They developed religious OCD. So depending on your values in life, as they shift, OCD also shifts with them, because OCD always attacks what's important. With this, I think that happens for most people who have experienced OCD their whole life. I can tell you that prior to my recovery, I've had OCD ever since I can remember. And I'm telling you, I am literally, my clients, we are living, walking proofs that recovery works. I wouldn't be on YouTube if I was in an OCD state. You could see by me, I'm telling you, I was in severe OCD. I couldn't leave the house. I couldn't work. I couldn't do anything. I would just sit and cry. I'm telling you, recovery, doing this, reducing rumination works. Whenever somebody online tells you, oh, you can't fully recover, you know what I say to them, honestly? If you think you can't help me fully recover, I believe you. If a brain surgeon tells you, I can't do brain surgery on you, I don't know how, I will also believe them. But that's just an aside. So scenario 3, again, I've experienced scenario C. I've experienced that personally, where as your life changes, your values, priorities change, OCD topics can shift. Nothing you can do about it. That's just part of life. It doesn't mean anything about your recovery work. This is just what happens. So I think most people are in that boat. So those are the basic 3 scenarios why OCD thoughts can shift. You need to be in scenario A. So again, guys, I'm telling you, you can recover from this, but you can only recover from this if you start to do active recovery work. It's coming at it from position of power, position of choice. And I had quite a few clients lately say to me that it's not I choose to do recovery work, but I'm forcing myself to do recovery work. Because choice is good, but choice is not powerful enough. It's literally, I am forcing myself against all odds, against the fact that it doesn't feel right. It feels right to seek reassurance, against everything. I'm making the choice to push myself to do recovery work every moment of the day, and this is how you recover. I'm telling you guys, this is how I recovered. My recovery was just very long because I wasn't time tracking the way I have clients time track now, but it was still same basic principles, just less focused and less accountable. And I don't want you to go through that long process that I went through. We're ahead now. We know different methods, and the biggest thing I can tell you that I see that people get wrong when they first start doing sessions with me is people always say that I only do, if they're even doing ERP. A lot of people are not even doing ERP, but if they're doing ERP, they're doing it in specific time of the day. So for example, I do ERP an hour a day, or I do ERP 2 hours a day. What are you doing the rest of the time? Reassurance and rumination, you're never going to recover that way, right? So your ERP is all day long. If the thoughts are hammering you all day long, you're in ERP all day long. You're just doing the E part. Are you doing the RP, or are you doing rumination and compulsions, right? That's the difference. And whether you're tracking the time or not, I guarantee you your brain is. So it knows if you ruminated more today than yesterday. And it knows specifically if you ruminated a lot in the morning or in the evening. And if you're doing that, it starts to retain that as a pattern. And when it retains it as a pattern, then it comes back to you in the same type of a situation, right? So all of these patterns you have to break, and it's just by choosing to disregard, forcing yourself to disregard, I promise you, and tracking. Because disregard sounds very vague, but if you're like, okay, I gave in to OCD thoughts 180 minutes out of 3 hours, so 3 hours out of 3 hours yesterday. Today, it will be 170 minutes, no matter what. And then tomorrow 160, and so on. And if you just keep to the schedule, what's reducing by 10 minutes each 3-hour time period? It's not that much. That's, calling somebody, getting yourself involved in a task, just plain refusing, right? And staying busy, staying away from the OCD thoughts for extra 10 minutes each 3-hour period, and increasing by 10 minutes each day. That's all it takes. If you just stick to this schedule, if that's all you retain from this entire video, and you just stick to this schedule of 10 minutes less each day for each 3-hour time period, it will take 18 days to go from 180 minutes each time period, the worst it can get, 3 hours out of 3 hours, to 0. So all it is accountability, I promise you. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to do one-on-one recovery program, all the information is on youhaveocd.com. I will see you hopefully tomorrow in another video. I'm sorry I've been a little bit busy with sessions, but I'm gonna really focus on doing videos daily again, because I know how important it is to you. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.